Hi everyone, you're watching a commentary walkthrough of at least the first 10 minutes or so of a game called The Path. And this is an independent game developed by a small game developer located in Belgium. I believe it's a couple who founded that company. And this particular game that you're about to watch is very much not like most games you've played if you have played games at all. You can see there's a very basic movement control scheme, which is sort of written out in either sort of like a pencil or crayon scrawl on the bottom. But besides that basic control scheme, you'll see right there that the girl ran toward a bird, and I did not do that. I had my hands off the controls. So your character in this game will basically do things by themselves if you sort of let them be. And so here's a bit of background on the story. This game is essentially a modern day take on Little Red Riding Hood with a bit of a horror twist thrown in. You can choose from 6 characters representing 6 sisters ranging in age from, probably, I believe, 8 or 9 up to the eldest sister, who's probably 18 or so. I chose a middle sister called Rose for this walkthrough. As you can see, the game environment is very nice. I'm liking this this artistic design. There's also, I'm pretty sure there's always music playing, or most of the time, as far as I can tell. And that is sort of consistent with what the game developers said they wanted to do while they were making this game, which was to create more of a narrative-driven game as opposed to gameplay where you're driven by a certain set of goals, like, you need to shoot a number of people, or you need to advance through a certain number of levels. This is very much a hands-off, free-form type of game. Okay, and you'll see I've just wandered off the path, and that goes back to the game's title, The Path. And as you know, in Little Red Riding Hood, the warning is you have to sort of stay on the path and go to grandmother's house and avoid the dangerous things in the woods. Very much like most other children's tales, as I recall. In any case, this is actually my second playthrough, and on the first playthrough I stayed on the path, and it turned out to be very much the wrong way to play this game. It was completely boring. You walked for like 10 minutes, you got to grandmother's house, and all I got for my efforts was a grade of D, because I had basically accomplished nothing aside from getting to grandmother's house. So in this case, I opted to stray off the path, which seems like the very wrong idea for anyone who's seen any sort of horror film. And if this is a horror game, I'm assuming there are, shall we say, less savory elements lurking in the woods, but here we are, and Rose is now confronting what appears to be a random girl who is wandering through the woods. Oh, she seems pretty friendly. She's gesturing, and, well, now I guess Rose has a traveling companion. Hopefully she is a benevolent girl, or spirit, or whatever she is, and she's not leading Rose off in some horrible phase. This music is also quite interesting. It's very much reminiscent of those moments in maybe a horror film right before the innocents are being led into some terrible place. I'm not sure, though. I'm not sure in this case. You could take it very much at face value and just say it's 2 little girls playing, having fun. Oh, well, and that's a bit unexpected. She led her back onto the path. So perhaps she's actually a guardian and not a malevolent spirit, as I was sort of initially thinking. Okay, so now a little awkward moment there. Now where's this newfound friend going? Yeah, again, I'm doing nothing with the controls at this point. I'm just letting them sort of do whatever they want. Here I'm actually guiding, I guess now when they're walking hand in hand, so apparently she's this new little girl is along for the ride. It's also amazing how much difference there is in the atmosphere in terms of the lighting and the music just as soon as you're on the path and off the path. So now what do we do? Okay, get a little game going. You know, maybe this new friend is good for Rose, because I get the feeling this friend is far more inquisitive than Rose appears to be. And that's interesting. There's occasionally I've seen faces or scenes flash in and out. And here I'm checking the basket where I'm bringing things to grandmother. And apparently I've acquired a bird. Or at least that's all I can tell from that drawing. There's some words. Yeah, that bird is also an interesting presence here. I'm not quite sure what role, if any, it's playing right now, but the bird was basically what compelled Rose to take her first unguided action where I was not doing anything and she sort of ran after that bird. Okay, now the question is, does Rose and her new friend want to go further into... Whoa, whoa, what's happening here? Alright, guess they're still playing. First I wasn't sure if she was trying to box Rose's ears or what was happening there. Anyway, I guess for a bit of background, the developers of this game, Tale of Tales, had previously made another game called The Graveyard, where it was again very different from a sort of goal-driven game. It was purely about sort of trying to create a sense of narrative, a sense of emotion, which many game developers want to do, especially even in mainstream games, you know, like Resident Evil or Grand Theft Auto. But this one sort of probably takes the extreme opposite approach to doing that and strips away most of the gameplay choices and options you would normally have as a character. And the earlier game that the developers made, called The Graveyard, was basically just controlling an old woman who's walking into a graveyard and sitting down at a bench and then getting up and walking out. That was the entire game. The interesting thing was how they sort of conveyed that old woman's frailty. Basically, she was hobbling along, well, she had a cane, and if you kept going forward at a pretty steady pace, the woman would get noticeably tired. She would hobble along on her cane and lean on it more and more, and I actually stopped going forward so much because I felt bad. I felt bad that this old woman character was suffering. Anyway, they're going to continue down the path, and I hope you enjoyed this preview of the path. from A Tale of Tales.